Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Easy English StoryLab. Today, we will practice English with a story for A2 to B1 learners. Listen carefully. Pause the video. Repeat after me. Copy the pronunciation, the rhythm, and the emotion. Now, let's begin. My name is Maya. I am 24 years old. I live in a small town in Italy. I work in a local bakery. Every morning I wake up at 5 a.m., put on my apron, and start baking bread and cakes. My life is simple. I like my job. I like the smell of fresh bread. I like smiling at customers. But sometimes I feel like my world is too small. I always dreamed of traveling, especially to Paris. Paris was my dream city. When I was a little girl, I saw pictures of the Eiffel Tower in a magazine. I saw beautiful streets, artists painting in Montmartre, and couples walking by the Seine River. I told myself, one day I will go there. But dreams are easy. Life is not. One evening, after work, I was counting money in the bakery. My boss, Mrs. Lucia, came to me. "Maya," she said, "you work very hard." "Thank you," I replied. "I have good news," she continued. "My sister lives in Paris. She needs help in her café for 1 month. I thought about you." I froze. "Paris?" I whispered. "Yes," she smiled. "You can work there for 1 month. You will earn money and see the city." My heart started beating fast. It felt unreal. "Are you serious?" I asked. She laughed. "Of course." That night I could not sleep. Paris, my dream. But I was also scared. I never lived in another country. My French was not perfect. What if I made mistakes? What if I got lost? The next week, I was on a train to Paris. I looked out the window as the landscape changed. My hands were shaking a little. I felt excited and nervous at the same time. When the train arrived, I stepped onto the platform. Paris was loud. People were walking fast. Some were speaking French, some English, some languages I did not understand. I held my suitcase tightly. "Okay, Maya," I told myself, "you can do this." Mrs. Lucia's sister, Camille, was waiting for me. She was tall, elegant, and very kind. "Bienvenue à Paris," she said, with a big smile. "Thank you," I answered. Her café was small but beautiful. It was near a quiet street with trees and small shops. The windows were decorated with flowers. Inside, there were wooden tables and soft music. "It is not big," Camille said, "but it has a warm heart." I liked that sentence. The next morning, I started working. The first day was difficult. Customers spoke fast French. I did not understand everything. "Un café, s'il vous plaît?" one man said. I panicked for a second, but then I remembered my lessons. "1 coffee." I smiled and prepared it. Later, a woman asked me something long and complicated. I did not understand. "I'm sorry," I said in English. "Can you repeat slowly?" She smiled kindly and repeated. I felt embarrassed, but Camille told me something important. "Maya," she said, "mistakes are normal. You are brave for coming here." Her words gave me confidence. After work, I walked around the city. I saw the Eiffel Tower for the first time in real life. It was bigger than I imagined. It was shining in the evening light. I stood there, looking up, and suddenly I felt emotional. "I did it," I whispered. I took many pictures. I called my mother. "Mom," I said, "I'm in front of the Eiffel Tower." She laughed happily. "I'm so proud of you." The days passed quickly. I learned new French words every day. I became faster at serving customers. Some regular customers started recognizing me. "You are the Italian girl, right?" a woman asked. "Yes," I smiled. "I like your smile," she said. That small compliment made my day. One evening, something unexpected happened. A young man came into the café. He had dark hair and green eyes. He wore a simple jacket and carried a notebook. He ordered tea and sat near the window. After a few minutes, he looked at me. "Are you new here?" he asked in English. "Yes," I said. "I'm here for 1 month." He smiled. "Welcome to Paris." "Thank you," I answered. "My name is Lucas," he said. "I'm Maya." We talked for a few minutes. He was a photographer. He loved taking pictures of the city at night. "You should see Paris after midnight," he said. "It's magical." I felt curious. "Maybe I will," I replied. Before leaving, he said, "I come here often. Maybe I will see you again." I watched him walk out. My heart felt light. The next day, I thought about him. Not too much, just a little. A week later, something strange happened. I finished work late. It was raining outside. I forgot my umbrella. When I stepped out of the cafe, I saw someone standing across the street. It was Lucas. He was holding an umbrella. "Waiting for someone?" I asked, smiling. "For you," he said. My heart skipped. "Why?" I asked. "Because Paris is more beautiful when you share it," he answered. For a moment, I did not know what to say. Then he walked toward me and held the umbrella over both of us. "Let me show you the real Paris," he said. And in that moment, I felt that my trip was about to become more than just work. That night, Lucas walked next to me under the umbrella. The rain was soft. The street lights were shining on the wet road. Paris looked different at night, quieter, more mysterious. "Where are we going?" I asked. "Trust me," he said with a small smile. Trust. That word made me nervous, but something about him felt calm and honest. We walked along the Seine River. The water reflected the city lights. Boats moved slowly. I felt like I was inside a movie. Lucas stopped near a small bridge. "This is my favorite place," he said. "Why?" I asked. "Because it's quiet. You can hear your thoughts here." I looked at the river. For the first time since I arrived in Paris, I felt completely present. "Do you miss Italy?" he asked. "Yes," I said, "but I also feel free here." He nodded. "Paris changes people," he said. We talked for almost an hour about dreams, about travel, about fear. "I want to open my own bakery one day," I told him. He looked surprised. "Really?" "Yes, not just a bakery, a place where people feel at home." He smiled. "That's beautiful." Then he asked, "Why don't you start?" I laughed softly. "It's not easy. I don't have enough money, and I'm scared." "Of what?" he asked. "Of failing." He looked at me seriously. "If you never try, you already fail." His words stayed in my mind. The next day, Lucas came to the cafe again, and the next. Soon it became normal to see him sitting by the window. Sometimes he took pictures of customers. Sometimes he showed me photos of Paris. One evening, he invited me to a small art exhibition. "I want to show you something," he said. I felt excited. We went to a small gallery in Montmartre. The walls were covered with black and white photos. Paris at night. Paris in the rain. Paris in silence. "Are these yours?" I asked. "Yes," he said. I looked at him differently. He was not just a man who drank tea at the cafe. He was an artist. One photo caught my attention. It was a picture of a woman standing alone near the Eiffel Tower. She looked small but strong. "That's beautiful," I said. Lucas looked at me. "That was you," he said. "What?" He showed me the photo closely. It was me, the night I first saw the Eiffel Tower. "I saw you that night," he said. "You looked emotional. I took the photo." I was shocked. "You didn't tell me." "I didn't know how," he replied. I felt strange. Part of me felt flattered. Another part felt uncomfortable. "You took my photo without asking," I said. He looked serious. "You're right. I'm sorry." His apology was quick and honest, but something inside me felt confused. That night, I could not sleep. Was he romantic, or was he crossing a line? The next day at work, I made a mistake. I gave the wrong order to a customer. Camille noticed that I looked distracted. "Maya, are you okay?" she asked. "Yes," I said, "just tired." But I was not just tired. I was thinking, was I falling for him too quickly? That evening, Lucas sent me a message. "Can we talk?" We met again near the river. "I feel like you're distant," he said. I took a deep breath. "Why did you take my photo without telling me?" He looked down. "Because you looked real, not like tourists. You looked like someone who was changing." His words touched me. "But you should have asked," I said. "You're right. I didn't think. I just felt." There was silence between us. Then he added, "I don't want to make you uncomfortable." I looked at him carefully. He seemed sincere. "I like spending time with you, but I don't want to rush anything." Rush. Yes, that was the problem. Everything felt fast. Paris, the café, Lucas. The month was almost half over. Time was moving quickly. "I will go back to Italy soon," I said quietly. He nodded. "I know." "Then what is this?" I asked. He looked at the river. "Maybe it's just a moment. Not everything has to be forever." His answer surprised me. In my mind, love always meant future, plans, promises. But maybe he was right. Maybe some people come into your life to teach you something, not to stay. The next weekend, something unexpected happened. Camille called me into the kitchen. "Maya, I need to tell you something." My heart jumped. "What?" "She said her cousin saw Lucas yesterday." "With who?" "She say a woman, and they looked close." My stomach dropped. Again? Was this happening again? I felt cold. "Are you sure?" I asked. She nodded slowly. That evening, Lucas sent me a message. "Can we meet tonight?" My hands were shaking. Was he lying too? Was I blind again? When I arrived at the bridge, he was already there. "I need to tell you something." My heart was beating fast. "I know," I said quietly. He looked confused. "You know?" "You were with a woman yesterday," I said. His face changed. "Yes," he said. "I was." The air felt heavy. "And?" I asked. "She's my sister." I blinked. "What?" "She just moved to Paris," he explained. "I was helping her find an apartment." I stared at him. For a few seconds, I didn't know what to feel. Relief, embarrassment, shame. "I'm sorry," I whispered. He looked at me softly. "It's okay," he said. "Trust takes time." Trust, that word again. I realized something important in that moment. This was not about Lucas. This was about me, about my fear, about my past experience. Daniel hurt me, and now I was afraid it would happen again. Lucas stepped closer. "I'm not Daniel," he said, gently. I never told him Daniel's name. I looked at him surprised. "I can see it in your eyes," he said. "You're afraid." Tears filled my eyes. I don't want to be stupid again, he replied. You're not stupid, you're human. For the first time in a long time, I felt safe, not because he promised forever, but because he was honest, and that made all the difference. After that night near the river, something changed inside me. Not because Lucas said beautiful words, not because Paris was magical, but because I understood my fear. I was not afraid of Lucas. I was afraid of being hurt again. The next morning, I woke up early. I looked out of the window at the Paris sky. My month was almost over. Only 1 week left. 1 week in my dream city. 1 week with Lucas. Time suddenly felt very short. At the café, I worked harder than ever. I smiled at customers. I practiced French. I helped Camille organize the kitchen. That evening, Lucas came as usual, but he looked serious. "Can we talk after your shift?" he asked. My heart beat faster. "Okay," I said. After work, we walked again along the Seine. The city lights reflected in the water. The air was cool. "I don't want this to end," he said quietly. I looked at him. "End?" I asked. "When you go back to Italy," he replied. I stayed silent. "I know it was only 1 month," he continued, "but it feels important." Important? Yes, it did. "I don't want to make promises I can't keep," he added, "but I don't want to lose you either." I felt emotional. "This was my dream trip," I said. "I didn't expect to meet someone." He smiled softly. "Sometimes the best things are not planned." We stopped walking. "Maya," he said, "what do you really want?" That question again. Not what is safe, not what is easy. What do I want? I closed my eyes for a moment. I imagined my bakery in Italy, my family, my simple life. Then I imagined Paris, the café, the river, the art, the freedom. "I want more," I said finally. "More?" he asked. "Yes, more than my small town, more than fear." He looked at me carefully. "Then stay," he said. The word felt heavy. Stay. In Paris? It sounded crazy. "I can't just stay," I said. "I have a job, a life." "You can build a life here," he replied. Build? The word made my heart move. The next day, Camille called me into her office. "Camille," she said, "I need to talk to you." I felt nervous. "What happened?" She smiled. "My cafe is growing. I need someone I trust." I blinked. "I want to offer you a longer contract," she said. 6 months, maybe more." I could not breathe for a second. 6 months? Paris? This was not just a dream anymore. This was a real choice. That night, I called my mother. "Mom," I said, "what if I stay longer?" There was silence. "Are you happy there?" she asked. "Yes," I answered honestly. "Then stay," she said. I felt tears in my eyes. "But what about home?" I asked. "Home is not a place," she said softly. "Home is where you grow." Her words were simple, but powerful. The next evening, I met Lucas near the bridge again. "I got an offer," I said. He looked worried. "You're leaving earlier?" "No," I smiled. "I'm staying." His eyes became wide. "Really?" "Yes, 6 months." He laughed and hugged me. For the first time, I did not feel afraid. Not because I knew everything would be perfect, but because I knew I was choosing my life, not running from it. Weeks passed. I moved into a small apartment in Paris. I worked at the café every day. I improved my French. Lucas and I did not rush. We met often. We talked. We learned about each other slowly. One evening, we sat near the Eiffel Tower again. "You know," he said, "when I first saw you, you looked lost." I laughed. "I was. And now?" I looked at the shining tower. "Now I feel brave." He smiled. "You are." I realized something important. Paris did not change me. I changed myself. Paris only gave me the space to grow. 1 year later, I opened a small Italian corner inside Camille's café. I baked Italian cakes, tiramisu, cannoli, lemon cake from my grandmother's recipe. Customers loved it. One day, a tourist came into the café. She looked around with big eyes. "This place feels warm," she said. I smiled. "It has a warm heart," I replied, just like Camille once told me. Sometimes I think about that train ride, the fear, the excitement, the question, can I do this? And now I know the answer. Yes, I went to Paris, but I also found myself, and that was the real journey. So that was the story of I Went to Paris. This story was not only about travel, it was about courage. It was about making a choice, and it was about believing in yourself. Now let's practice together. Listen to the story again. Pause after each sentence. Repeat out loud. Copy the pronunciation, the rhythm, and the emotion. This is the shadowing technique. It helps you speak more clearly. It helps you sound more natural. It helps you build confidence step by step. Write in the comments, if you could live in another country, where would you go? If you enjoyed this story, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who is learning English. Keep practicing every day. Small steps create big progress. See you in the next story.